Hey there, it's me, Mrs. D, and here is my instead of doing this, let's try this video. Um, so like, subscribe, hit your notification button. I'm going to try to keep this short and simple, under 10 minutes. We'll see. Part of my struggle is breathing, and it's hot in here today. Anyways, here are some tips and tricks for you about getting going as an Outschool teacher. Some things that I thought were great, I've transformed into some different ideas, okay? The first one is instead of giving free classes away or classes for $1, I suggest giving away a worksheet, a PDF, or some kind of free material to go with your class that will keep the students entertained either before the class begins or after the class finishes, not for during the class. Why? Well, I'm not saying don't give away free classes, don't give away $1 classes. I did that. I did that so that I wasn't at zero. You go on there and you look at 0 classes taught, 0 reviews, 0 enrollments, 0 everything. It's better to go ahead and offer a couple of free classes or a couple of $1 classes and get those numbers on the board. That's the goose egg that some people who work with me hear me refer to. Um, get rid of your goose egg. But we don't want to stay there too long because giving away classes or giving $1 classes has a time and place, and it's usually more for buy one class, sibling gets a free class. I'm doing really well. I know you're a great person. I'm going to give you a free class. Just being in a place where you can give a free class or giving classes as exchange. You take this class, I'll do this class. But we don't want to continuously just be marketing ourselves for free classes. It doesn't build a good client base. The people who generally, not all the time, I don't want to put everybody in one lump sum, but generally the people who are enrolling in free courses or one-time courses are not going to become long-term customers. They're not going to re-enroll for the full price. So keep that in mind. We're trying to build a business, and when we build a business, repeat customers are where we really want to be. So giving away classes in one-time, $1 classes, it's a great gesture. It's a good way to get started, but don't get stuck there. Okay. It's hard to compete with all the one-time free classes too. But anyway, so give away worksheets, give away PDFs, give away something else that will draw them to your class and say, hey, this is a great teacher. Because after that, that brings us to number two. Number two. Instead of multi-day long-term courses and starting off with that, begin with a one-time course that builds into an ongoing or a multi-day course. Why? Because when we break onto the Outschool class, we know we're fantastic teachers. We just know it, right? And we expect the whole world to know it, and we expect the whole world to pay us what we're worth. And that's not how the world works, right? So, and I understand that as a parent. As a teacher, of course, I want that, I want that better paycheck. I want those long-term classes. But as a parent, I'm taking a huge risk if I'm going to sign my kid up for a class with a teacher I've never met before, and I'm going to pay out of my pocket for that. Okay, so keep that mindset in your head. And, a great way to try a teacher out is with their one-time course. And if that one-time course works out, then I might take a multi-day, a shorter multi-day course, a 4-day, a 4-week maybe course with them, or an ongoing course. And then if things are still going well, then I might look for one of those long 9 to 12 week semester courses. So keep that in mind. Start baby steps. Get one-time courses on your class listings first that you can then filter into the ongoing and the multi-day. And yeah, you can have one-time courses, ongoing courses, and multi-day courses, all of the same subject material. It's absolutely doable. So, you can also do it that way too. You give it a try. You liked it? Go into the ongoing course. Or next is, your multi-day. The difference between ongoing and multi-day is that ongoing is like repeating the same thing over and over again. So like my journaling class, every week they come in and they write a journal entry and they draw some pictures with it. Okay, it's the same every week. We go over the same thing every week. It doesn't build on itself. Do they learn? Yeah, they do. But anybody can come in at any time and not be like, I didn't learn this, On the multi-day, we start at point A and we end at point B. So we are building onto the learning in a multi-day course. So that's the difference. All right, so number 3, instead of mass producing classes or sitting idly, perfect your profile, perfect your class listing, and create your brand. Like I said in the update video, it's going to take any consumer, any customer, any parent that's going to sign up for your class, if they're just looking at Facebook groups and scrolling through thousands of classes that are listed in these groups, it's going to take them 3 to 5 times of seeing you to remember you, to even start to register you. So when you have a brand that makes you recognizable, that is going to be gold, okay? So for example, if you go to my Outschool profile, you will see that I have kind of a purple, it's the same thing that's down here in this corner. This is my Outschool profile, and I purposely make that the same everywhere so that people know that's Mrs. D, right? And so then all of my class listings are also of that color, because then when a parent goes to, okay, so they see that class, they go to the class listings, they see that, they don't sign up for anything, but they continue to see my classes being listed, and it might not be the same class. It could be a different class, but it's got a familiarity about it, right? They're saying, hey, I've seen this before. Hey, I've seen this before. Hey, I've seen this before. They go check out the profile. Profile should have a phenomenal introduction video. Do not talk like an ESL teacher in your Outschool video. Phenomenal profile. Phenomenal introduction video and a short bio, like easy to read, to the point bio. People don't read these days, so having long paragraphs in the bio I find to be, it's just not going to get read. So you want to stand out, have a great video and a short bio and that brand, and then you're going to start to be recognized, okay, just by, sight. Now, number 4, Facebook discount groups and dropping links in the Facebook groups. Fine, do that. I suggest doing that. I do that all the time. But the other side of that is being the business owner and networking and getting to know people, and look for other Outschool groups, not just discount groups. There are other groups that are not required to have a discount for you to list your class. And I suggest going and looking for those groups and then reading in the groups. I've said this before. Look for what parents need, okay? And make classes for that. Now, why? Well, and comment on other people's stuff. This looks like a great class. I love this profile. I love this picture. Sounds like a great class. Good for you for getting a shout out. Any kind of, communication with people, looking for friendships, striking up relationships. Why? 3 times I have had parents recommend my class based on they've taken a class, they want to share my name, they want to share my information. 3 different parents have done that, all because I've started networking on Facebook. Okay, so it takes time. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of Facebook. But I'm able to draw back from that a little bit more as other people start to talk about me, right? And when other people talk about me, that's so much better than me talking about myself, right? It's better to come from someone else than from me. Well, it's, oh, she's a good teacher. She says she's a good teacher. Okay, They say she's a good teacher. Hey, I know her. I know her, and I know her recommendations are good. And if she's saying that this is a good teacher, I believe her, right? So it's got more weight. Okay, so networking is invaluable to your business. Now, number 5, last point. Instead of um, going for big groups, going for 3 to 4 students minimum in your class to teach it, going for the higher price because, hey, I am worth it. Like I said before, I know I'm a good teacher and I'm going to break onto this Outschool scene and I am going to get paid what I am worth. Take a step back. Think about, well, what do you really think people are going to pay and what are you willing to take? For me, that looks like about $7 for a 25-minute class and about $10 to $15 for a 45 to 55-minute class. Okay? That's before Outschool's cut. So think about that too. I also prefer to put my minimum student at 1 because others can see that there's 1 student enrolled in there and they're likely to hop into that class. Now, if you put your minimum at 3, they aren't going to see the first students enrolled. They're not going to see the second student enrolled. They're going to see third. If you put it at 4, guess what? They're not going to see it until 4 students are enrolled. And that might be holding you back. You may be being held back because they can't see the 1 student enrolled and start enrolling. Okay? So minimums should be at 1, especially when you're getting started. And now big groups, moderate groups. Let's talk about 6 to 8 students to get going. Maybe as you gain traction, you can make those numbers a little bit bigger. But why do I think 6 to 8 groups is good? Because once you get 3 in there, the parents who are scrolling through classes can see that there's 3 students in there, but they also get this 3 spots left if your minimum is at 6. And maybe they might feel like, okay, let me grab one of those spots, right? A little bit more urgency than 1 student enrolled, 2 students enrolled, 3 students enrolled. And if you have your cap at 10, they're not going to see that, this many spots left until there's a higher number of enrollments. So you could be holding yourself back that way as well. Okay, so instead of big groups, big minimums, big maximums, high prices, let's lower those minimums, let's lower those maximums, and let's get prices that are about, what parents are paying right now. All right, so that is it for the instead of try this. Hopefully it has helped you. It's been what I've been doing that seems to be working, so I'm offering it all to you, and hopefully I've done this under 10 minutes. I don't really know. 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes, approaching 13. So that's it for me. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I will see you guys next time.